A video on fermenting this melon skin waste. So I made some fermented sauce from some leftover vegetables, and that kind of got me thinking. It was waste vegetables, and it was like anything that I had, and some things that I picked up for the fruit and veg shop that were a little bit past the best. And another guy who runs for a veg shop, and I was kind of like, what waste have you got? So I made this fermented vegetable sauce. Very nice. So I fermented the vegetables, and then strained out the vegetables from the juice, pureed the vegetables up, and then squeezed the juice out of those, and then kind of made this fermented vegetable sauce. Akin to a Worcestershire sauce, but not as fishy type of thing. So I was kind of quite curious about, and I'm always curious about food waste. So it was melon for a starter at the weekend. So I ended up with a load of melon skins. What I'd normally do is, I normally just put them on a compost, but I have been known to candy the melon skins and turn them into like a candied peel. I've also extracted the juice out of the melon skins to make like a syrup, like a fake honey, because honeydew melons have got this scented flavour, scented smell to them, that when you make a syrup out of the skins, it smells and tastes a little bit like honey. So I've done that as well. What else did I do? Oh yeah, and then I fermented them, the skins into alcohol. So I made like a fizzy pop, fizzy carbonated drink. No, it's not carbonated, but a fizzy drink, and then turned that in, and then that started to turn into alcohol. So I've done lots of different kind of things with melon skin, but I kind of thought that what we'll do is we'll add some salt to it. So these are all the bits of skin and all that kind of stuff, and we'll add some salt to it and kind of see what happens. If there is enough kind of liquid to kind of come out of those melons. But then I have got some melony, the pulp from around the seeds. I added a little bit of water to that, pured it down, put it through a sieve. So I've got that kind of flavoured melony water, which if there isn't enough water that comes out of these skinny bits, then we'll see about adding some of that water. So it's 2% ratio of salt to whatever vegetable that you are fermenting. So there is about 550 grams worth of vegetable peelings in here, so that equates to 11 grams worth of salt. So give it a mix around, and then I think we'll see if just a shake, and then we'll see what liquid kind of comes out of the melon, because there's still those bits of, it's not just the skin, that's the skin there, and there's kind of still flesh there, so we should get some liquid kind of coming out. We get a mix around, but when you make sauerkraut, you have to like mix it forever and ever, and scrunch it round. And although that's the proper way to do it, I kind of think if you salt the vegetables first, the salt naturally starts to bring out the liquid in the vegetables, so it just makes it a little bit easier. So we'll do that, and we'll just leave it for half an hour and see what kind of liquid comes out of that. It'll just save us a bit of a job. Right, that definitely has some more liquid in, so I'll have to wait off camera because the board's not flat, so I can't weigh things on it. Oh, I've got some soap on my hands. So how much we're going to add to it, and then we can calculate. That's fine, is that? And then we can calculate how much salt. If we put in 100 grams, that's 2 grams. And that's 2 grams of salt, isn't it? And I think we're going to put it in a different jar as well. Right, so that's let's make it 150, because it needs to be submerged underneath, so there's more liquid and we're about to press it down. Right, that's 150. So where's the salt? 3 grams of salt. 3 grams of salt, and then move around, and I'm going to put it in this jar. I think there's just too much room in that jar. I think we need something a little bit better than my hands, don't we? That's just going to make a mess everywhere. What have we got in the cupboard? Something quick to hand. There we go. That'll do the job. And put them there like that. And then we've got a disc of cling film on the top of it, and we'll put it on the windowsill. It doesn't get much sunshine. And then we'll see if it ferments or starts to ferment. I'm just curious. I know watermelons. I know melon's sweet, but it might make an interesting ferment. So that is like that, and then wash my hands again, and then just a disc of cling film on top, food wrap, whatever you want to call it, just like that, and then like that, and all the fruits underneath the liquid, and then hopefully we won't get any unwanted bacteria growth. So, and then maybe just it's that time of year that we're going to get flies, so I might just put a lid on it, just loosely, just to stop any fruit flies or kind of flies or moths wanting to get in there. But I think then we'll see about, if anything happens with that. Right, we have fermentation of sorts. Moving. Can you see those? Some bubbles. Right down the bottom there. There are bubbles. I don't know if that is fermentation from yeast or fermentation from lactose, the other type of fermentation that you use salt in, so like sauerkraut type of thing. So let's move the camera and we'll have a look down and we'll kind of see and have a smell. Right, so there's definitely air. And definitely lots of bubbles coming up. Let's have a smell. It doesn't smell sweet. What's it taste like? Well, it tastes sharp. So I think we're getting the right type of fermentation. Well, it tastes salty, but it's sharpy salty. So I think we're getting the right type of fermentation. So we'll let that carry on going. I might need a bit more water in that. Let's just put a bit of water in. We just want everything underneath the... this will change the saltiness of it, but it doesn't matter. Just want to make sure that everything's underneath, like that. And I might just put a bit of a glass jar on top of that, just to keep everything down. But I think that's working. I have noticed the top part's going a little bit brown, so let's just have a look at it. Well, it's slightly discolouring, so let's a little bit of white mould. But white mould's fine. It's the black stuff you've got to worry about. So, how does it smell? It doesn't smell particularly sour. Let's have a look. Am I going to taste it? Yes, I am. So it's gone. It's salty and it's a little bit sour. What are we going to do with this? Got a fly in the kitchen, buzzing around. I think I'm going to get the hand blender in there, puree it down, and then extract the juice out of it and see what happens. It's not bubbling anymore, so I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's no, because if it was fermenting through yeast and making alcohol, it still would be bubbling, because there'd still be enough sugar in there to feed the yeast. Sorry, I'm just trying to swat this fly and heat up my dinner at the same time. So I'm going to puree that down. I'm going to pass it through a sieve. I'm going to pass it through a cloth, and then we'll put it in a bottle, and we'll just leave it and kind of see what happens. We'll taste it before we put it in the bottle, and then we'll kind of see what happens to it. I think, yes. So we have pureed and squeezed. So you can see that's what's left of the melon skin that I've squeezed all the fermented juice out of, and this is the bottle. So it's starting to separate. So even though I've strained it through a quite fine cloth, there's still some sediment that got through, and that's starting to collect at the bottom. So it should clear up over the next week or so. But we're going to see. This is going to be the end of the video. I'll just stick it in the back of the cupboard, and we'll do some kind of tasting sometime in the future about what happens to it. So this is just the juice separated from the melon. So we'll just kind of see what this tastes like. Salty and fermented. No kind of real depth of flavour, but it kind of goes to show that we can ferment some melon skin. And even if I wanted to do a fermented sauce type of thing, again, I could use melon skins in it along with other things, so along with other vegetable waste, maybe not fruit waste, but fruit skin waste, so like watermelon skin, that type of thing, and then like carrots and cabbage and all that kind of stuff, and any kind of things. We've got a bit of that, a bit of chili, a bit of garlic, a bit of ginger, that type of thing, and make it like a fermented sauce. So that works, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what use that will be whatsoever, but it might turn something amazing in 6 months' time when I remember it's in the back of the cupboard. So, success? Yeah.